and others, including Lise Doucette and Jane Wellesley and the team, have set up this incredible project and her legacy. Can you tell us a bit about how it came about?
Well, after Marie was killed, obviously we knew her name would never die, but we wanted a legacy for her. And Marie was always very encouraging to young journalists, and especially, but not exclusively, to women, and again, especially, but not exclusively, in the Middle East. And so we thought what would be a great project would be to do something which supported young female journalists in the Middle East, because at that time, 10 years ago, we're talking about the Arab Spring, and a lot of new journalists were coming up in the region. You know, it's not like the old days of just being, you know, some old white bloke in a safari suit going away and bringing back the news from abroad. Now people are reporting on their own communities, and this is so strong and so important. But you know, it's the young women who are reporting from the Middle East are under incredible stresses and strains, similar, some of them, to the ones that we are under, people who go in and out, but many more as well. And also, I think that we felt that Marie's life was exemplary in the sense that she was a fantastic journalist, but also cautionary. She didn't look after herself enough. She should have looked after herself more. And I think that that's something which we also think is really important about young women looking after their bodies, being safe, and also their minds, because these are very stressful situations. So this was the project we decided to start, to try and support those young women. And this is where Dima comes in, who is our brilliant manager and editor.
Yeah, so Dima, tell us a bit more about how the project has developed over the years, and you know, things that you're trying to achieve and the support the network's giving to female journalists.
Well, I mean, I joined the network before it was set up. I remember very well doing the job interview in Jordan with Lise and Lindsay on Skype, and Anna Redoubt at the time, and that was November 2015. And I started the following month, and I had just relocated to Berlin. And when we started, I mean, they gave me the mandate, and then there was a process of researching. And very early on, we realized that this network should be focused on Arab female journalists, because we felt that, you know, Western or international correspondents, they come with their own, you know, support networks somehow, and they have their privileges, and they also have the privileges of their Western passports that can get them back to safety when they need to. But the more research we did, we realized, you know, it's the local journalists, if we're talking about Palestine or Iraq or Syria or Egypt or Sudan, they're not just reporters, they are part of the story itself. I mean, right now, you know, five years ago when we were establishing the network, I didn't realize that we would come to a point where our journalists will be part of the internally displaced people from conflict in their countries, that some of our journalists will be, you know, moving and living in exile because they're being prosecuted by their own governments. So we started with, you know, I think the wonderful thing about this network is we just started using our own instincts. You know, we weren't set up by a group of established people with background in how to set up an NGO. You know, we were all journalists, and we thought, if we were the journalists benefiting from this network, what kind of support would we have liked to have? And honestly, I did not think, I mean, I didn't imagine that we would, you know, come this far. But now we're beyond the phase of inception. Now we have an identity. You know, we are an online community of over 220 women from across the MENA region. And now we're being, you know, approached by international organizations who want, you know, us to help them with our expertise and, you know, explaining how do we offer support for these women. And whether it's the mentorship, you know, a lot of these women, they come from various backgrounds. Some of them did not have professional education in journalism, or they don't necessarily work in the most, you know, professional setups. They're being mentored by, you know, amazing women like Samia Nakhul from Thomson Reuters, or Rila Khalaf, from the Financial Times, or Zaina Khudr, who just won the RTS award at Al Jazeera International. So it's such an amazing platform where you're connecting, you know, these young women with amazing mentors, and together they're helping each other, you know, they're supporting each other and they're inspiring each other. We did not imagine there would be a time when we would be even more hands-on involved when it comes to things like mental health support, when it comes to, you know, emergency support, if it's connecting them to organizations or governments. So it's just overwhelming to look back at, you know, how we've evolved in the last 5 years, and we feel that we're continuing to get bigger and bigger. And I think the best thing about this network is the work is not just done by us as staff, it's actually done by the members and the mentors. How they support each other, how they open up doors for one another, how they contribute the occasional, you know, article on the website that has really vital information. This network is basically alive and growing because women want to give something back.